Welcome everybody. This is Heroes and Brews with Nerdy Dudes. We are your friendly neighborhood Beeroes. My name is Ty. Across the way is Kev, and we're doing some chatting this week. No real original Heroes and Brews titled segments, but we've spoken about last time about Henry Cavill possibly, retaking his mantle as Superman as guest starring roles. And now we want to talk about the Marvel Universe, the MCU exactly, because with Endgame ending historically with this huge climax, where does MCU go now? Are like people getting bored? Like, is that it for people? Are people checking out? What does this next phase mean? Kev, let's hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so this has been something that I have seen. This has been talked about on various different YouTube channels that I've watched. This question has kind of come up here and there, and it's something that I don't know if you and I have really discussed, and it just kind of came up randomly. And I know the Black Widow film was supposed to be released, and because of COVID-19, obviously, that film, amongst other films, have been delayed. But I have to say, after Endgame, and you put it perfectly, that historical ending, to that 22 film epic saga. After Endgame, you kind of wonder, where do you go from here? And I almost have felt that the hype for the MCU has dwindled, which is kind of understandable because nobody's ever done anything like that before, and nobody will ever do anything like that ever again. So I know there's a slate of movies and television shows on Disney Plus that are due to come out at some point, I guess. I think everything's been kind of pushed because of what we're going through right now. But I have to say, man, I kind of lost my excitement. I mean, after sticking with the MCU from 2008 until 2019. Is that when Endgame was out? I forget what year we're in half the time, man. That was, there was a lot of emotion, a lot of passion, that I have put into something like that all of us fans have. And then when the ending came for that, it was so satisfying that afterwards you kind of were like, wow, like I went on this journey and I'm exhausted. I feel great, but I'm good now. Like I feel good. So they definitely, and I'm sure they've known that. They're very smart over there. Kevin Feige is a genius. I'm sure they've as soon as this ended, they're like, guys, like, what are we gonna do? We have to compete what we've just done. We have to top that. How are we gonna top that? And you and I had spoken off camera, and the different shows, like I had mentioned, are coming out on Disney Plus. I don't know. There's none of them that are really grabbing my attention. Now, of course, you watch them and you go, Kev, you got to do it, man. You have to tune in. You have to watch it. All right, I'll watch it. But what kind of drives me crazy is, in order for me to stick with this universe and understand every story and where each story is going, and the story overlaps into another story, now I have to not only see the films, but I have to tune into the Disney Plus shows and watch all them. It's a lot of content. I know that sounds like, okay, big deal. You know what I mean? What, so you got to park your ass on a couch and just sit there and watch this stuff? But it's a lot of stuff that I got to stick with. And I know it sounds like I'm whining and complaining. I kind of just, I guess where I'm going with this is I miss just solo stories, solo stories told for each individual superhero character, what have you, and we can just sit back and enjoy this one story. Whatever happens in Thor's story does not have to impact what happens in Black Panther's story. What happens in Black Panthers does not have to impact the Guardians of the Galaxy, and so on and so forth. It just, I don't know. I would like to see it maybe just go into, and I don't think they can, because I think fans of the MCU, They're anticipating more. We want more. You have to keep this continuing. And I'm sure they will, but it's draining, man.
I
It's
think
draining.
the problem is, I think a lot of these fans have the opposite take of you. I think they love the extra content that they're going to get from Disney Plus. You know, you got WandaVision, you got Winter Soldier and Falcon, you have Loki's, series coming out. So, I think people are excited for that. I think it's a lot to add the TV series intertwined with your movie universe. I think that you keep those separate because that means you're forcing people to pay more
Mhm.
monthly to keep up with your universe. I don't think that's fair. I think that is something they shouldn't lean towards because then the people who are maybe, short on little money can't afford, having the Disney Plus, for
Mhm.
every month. So they go to the movies and that's what they use their extra money on. But now they're like, well, I don't get this reference in the new Doctor Strange because I don't have access to, Disney Plus. And yeah, you can say, you know, mooch it off your friend, but like let's be realistic. They're kind of making you pay a little more extra a month just to stay in tune, and I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that.
I didn't even think about that. Disney's taking more of my money. Um, yeah, I would, I don't know. I just don't want it to, and maybe this is a bad way to put it. I don't want it to feel like a chore.
Yes.
Like, if I'm gonna go see, Doctor Strange 2, shit, I forgot to freaking watch the Loki series. And if I don't watch the Loki series and I go into Doctor Strange 2, I'm not gonna know what the hell's going on. I don't like that. I miss I kind of miss right now. I do.
Yeah.
And I know if you're gonna watch back and you're gonna hear me how hype I am for the DC universe, but I think because we felt like that was failing and now it might be coming back, so that gets me excited. But it would be nice to kind of just you know watch an individual movie. It's an individual story. It's its own story, and you can watch it or you don't have to. And if I choose not to, when I tune in to go see Guardians Volume 3, I'm fine. I can just go into that movie, and I didn't have to watch any predecessor from some other character. Um, that's really the only thing. I just think that, I mean, sure, on one hand, it's awesome to get all this content. I mean, especially if, as a fan of this stuff, like, why wouldn't you want more? We're gluttons over here. As much as you can give us. Um, and a part of me feels this way for one particular character, and that is Spider-Man. I've been feeling for some time now that I really miss Spider-Man being on his own, I
Being
guess,
a
having
friendly
his own
neighborhood
story.
Spider-Man instead of a universal Spider-Man.
Yes. Recently I watched Sam Raimi's films, just one and two, because three's a hot pile of garbage, and I feel like Sam Raimi himself might even say the same thing. Um, but one and two are fantastic, and I kind of miss that world. I kind of miss just focusing on Spider-Man, because with Spider-Man now, the impact that the Avengers had on him, whatever that may be, whatever he had to go through with the Avengers, had to spill over into Spider-Man's films. As much as I loved Homecoming and I thought Far From Home was okay, I wasn't a huge fan of it. But I think after watching Far From Home, that's when it really hit me that I miss Spider-Man. I just want Spider-Man right now. And then playing this PS4 game that probably came out forever ago, but I'm just jumping on the bandwagon now. Playing that, I was just like, oh my gosh, because Spider-Man is strong enough to stand on his own, and I really want to see that happen. I
and I
miss that.
and I think particularly what happens is his strengths and even Batman's strengths lie within their rogues gallery. I think the importance is to have a strong character have their own movie, like trilogy, we'll say, and stick strong is that rogue gallery because you can't have unknown villains that people don't really care about unless they're cast properly, which we've seen Marvel do. They've casted pretty freaking well.
Sure.
But Spider-Man, especially within, I guess, the Sony universe of Marvel Sonys and Sony Marvels, might have this happen, because they have Venom, they got Carnage, and they're gonna add more characters in. They're adding Morbius. They're adding Black Cat, I believe, and you can fill that universe. We just, I agree with Kev. I do miss, with Christian Bale and his trilogy for Batman. Like, it was centered to him. You didn't have to worry about anything else in the world, whether it was Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash. He was just in Gotham doing his thing against Bane, the Joker, Ra's, Scarecrow. Like, it was centered with his villains. Again, like I said, you need that good rogues gallery to, have these movies and have these trilogies to be big and supportive. But I do miss that too. I think a lot of people are just going full force with the universes and connecting things. And like, we've seen that with the Monsters universe too. It couldn't just be a one-off. It had to be, we're doing a whole freaking universe. You haven't seen the first film yet, but we're going around and we're going to cast people, Photoshop them into freaking posters. Like, just chill. Like, do your thing, make some trilogies. And if they, if the fans love it, start throwing people in and then add from there. Don't just say universe. Throw them in a universe. You're in my universe. You're going to that universe. Come with me. You're in my universe. Like, I don't know. I do love it because, that whole saga, the Infinity Saga, was fantastic. And personally, I think, Marvel's going to do the right thing. Ever since Far From Home and the whole drama with Sony, I think people got upset with that. And the next film was going to be the Black Widow film, which is in the past. So there hasn't really been that push for the next saga for the Marvel characters.
Mm-hmm.
I think once we start rolling with that train, I think we'll get more excited, and I think they're going to do a hell of a job with that, and I think I'm going to enjoy it a lot.
I'm sure I will too, man. I mean, I'm saying this now, but Marvel is, look at their track record. Come on. I don't anticipate them to really fall off the rails and for people to go, what's happening? What's going on? These movies suck. This is garbage. It could. I don't know. But, of course, I think they're going to eventually introduce Fantastic Four and they're going to introduce X-Men, which I think will be exciting. I know that there's, so you've had your core Avengers in the beginning, and then you're going to transition into your other Avengers, your side Avengers.
You can't say that. They're coming. They're stepping up to the plate right now. They helped battle Thanos. Captain America's old as dog shit. Iron Man's dead. Thor got some of his body back from getting hit by lightning, so he'll be there, leading things. Spider-Man, he knows what he's got to do. Tom Holland.
Yeah, I'd just rather him just stay in New York, man.
Stay in New York.
Yeah. And fight Venom and fight Carnage and fight Green Goblin and fight Scorpion. Like, just stay in New York. You don't need to battle aliens. It's okay. Like, your story's good enough, like, on its own.
Would you like this universe? Would you like this universe? Would you like if it was Spider-Man, Punisher, Black Cat, Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist? All just in New York, nothing extraterrestrial.
I would.
Just a local battle with some, maybe Kingpin, maybe Doc Ock.
Yes, do it. Do that. I would love that. I think that would be really great. I think, we definitely got a taste of the cosmic realm from, towards the end of the Infinity Saga. And I'm sure they're going to continue with that, going forward, especially with Fantastic Four and everything. That's not done. Thor's coming back and Guardians of the Galaxy are coming back. So that cosmic, area, we'll get there again, I'm sure. And that's great. I would like to see, and I don't know if in their eyes they would be backtracking by doing this. I don't think so. But I think it'd be really cool if after this huge epic saga, you brought it back home.
Yes.
You condensed it. You made the world a little smaller. And then here you go, guys. We're actually going to focus on, our characters that are just they're literally, grounded. But characters such as Spider-Man. We're going to introduce a Daredevil to the MCU. We're going to have a Jessica Jones, a Luke Cage, an Iron Fist, a Blade, and they're all in New York. And we're just going to focus on these characters interacting here. I think that would be cool. It'd be a nice, obviously, change of scenery, a different tone, maybe. I think that would be awesome. And obviously, I mean, you can't really have and that would be cool if they just kind of maybe, hinted at things in the other, in the Marvel universe, like Daredevil's heard of Wakanda, but I don't want to see Daredevil in like a souped up Daredevil suit, like flying out to space to fight people. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't want that to happen. Like, I want that to stay there. Cause I think that would be really cool. Like, focus on another aspect of the Marvel universe. We saw big picture. Now let's like look at this little area and hone in on that and just check that out for a while and then expand it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that'd be cool. Do something different.
My only problem is I don't think that's going to happen because you got Doctor Strange, the multiverse. I don't forget the name of it, but something with the multiverses.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, so I think that's going to create some craziness that's the opposite of what you want, Kev.
You're probably right.
But, yeah, let us know your thoughts. Where do you want Marvel to go from here? Are you excited for the future? Have you checked out? Has the Infinity Saga made you done? Are you at peace with what happened after Endgame? Write in those comments. Make sure you give us a like and a subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.